We need to dismantle a dangerous myth today. Most owners believe feeding fruits and vegetables to pets is a natural and healthy choice. However, from an evolutionary toxicological perspective, this is a fatal misunderstanding that ignores the massive biological gap between modern crops and a carnivore's metabolism.
It's shocking because we view natural as harmless. But you're saying that centuries of selective breeding have fundamentally altered these foods? I recall reading that ancient teosinte, the ancestor of corn, had fewer than 12 kernels and about 30% protein, whereas modern sweet corn has over 500 kernels and only 4% protein.
Precisely. That is the reality of nutrient decoupling. We have engineered plants to be sugar bombs, sacrificing vital phytonutrients. For instance, modern artichokes have 1/6 of the disease-preventing phytonutrients compared to their wild relative, the cardoon. We are feeding pets empty, high-sugar shells that their bodies cannot process.
And that processing issue is critical, especially for cats. I was terrified to learn that felines lack fructokinase, the essential enzyme to kickstart fructose metabolism. Does this mean the fruit sugar effectively becomes a metabolic poison?
Correct. It's not just indigestion, it's toxicity. A cat's liver has only about 1/3 of the sugar uptake capacity of a dog's liver. Without fructokinase, that fructose lingers or causes chaos. But don't think dogs are safe. Their liver lacks a feedback control loop for fructose, unlike glucose.
So, while glucose metabolism has a break, fructose metabolism is unregulated? That explains why high fructose diets in dogs lead to rapid triglyceride accumulation. It's a direct highway to fatty liver disease, NAFLD, and insulin resistance, even if blood sugar markers look normal.
Exactly. It silently destroys the liver before you see symptoms. Furthermore, we must address the invisible chemical threat, endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, found in pesticides. These aren't just residues. They mimic hormones and disrupt the reproductive and immune systems.
The dirty dozen list is terrifying in this context. Apples, for example, 90% of samples test positive for pesticide residues. And grapes are a double threat. 96% test positive for pesticides, plus they cause acute renal failure in dogs and cats.
And let's not forget the cocktail effect. A single nectarine can carry over 15 different pesticide residues. These chemicals accumulate in fat tissue, potentially triggering cancers like lymphoma. Speaking of cancer, fructose plays a unique, sinister role there too, distinct from the Warburg effect we see with glucose.
The Warburg effect describes how cancer cells devour glucose, right? But you're suggesting fructose is worse because it bypasses the phosphofructokinase checkpoint, depleting ATP and fueling de novo lipogenesis.
Yes, it rapidly depletes cellular energy, ATP, and forces the liver to synthesize new fats, which cancer cells use to build cell membranes and grow. It essentially provides the raw materials for tumor expansion while exhausting the host's energy.
That's a chilling double punch. Energy starvation for the pet and structural fuel for the cancer. It completely changes the argument from fruits are high calorie to fruits are metabolically hazardous.
That is the core message. We aren't just counting calories. We are avoiding metabolic incompatibility. To protect our pets, we must adopt a philosophy of strict risk avoidance. No fruits, no starchy vegetables. Their biology simply isn't designed for our modern engineered harvest.
It's a paradigm shift. We have to stop humanizing their diet and start respecting their evolutionary constraints. The risks of liver failure, cancer, and hormonal disruption are just too high to ignore.
Evolution cannot be cheated. By eliminating these plant-based sugars and toxins, we return to the physiological baseline, where our dogs and cats can actually thrive, rather than just survive the foods we impose on them.
It's clear now. The kindest choice isn't sharing our healthy snacks, but shielding them from these biological mismatches. I'll certainly be looking at ingredient labels with a much more critical eye from now on.
Please do. Your pet's longevity depends on that vigilance. Thank you for listening to this deep dive into nutritional toxicology.
Thank you. It's been an eye-opening lesson in true biological appropriate nutrition.
Until next time, keep questioning the natural narrative.
And keep prioritizing safety over sentiment. Goodbye.
Goodbye.